Boots, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. It's gonna be fun casting another game.
Yeah, should be good as we are ready for Carleton versus Boston College. Carleton will be starting on the red side today as we're just getting ready for draft. And yeah, now it's just time to get everything all loaded in and ready to go as we're just waiting for all the players to ready up. And we'll be off to the races.
It's gonna be interesting to see if they decide to go for different kinds of draft. Looking at Boston, they're like an all-in kind of team. But Carleton played both sides of that last week, so I wonder what they opt into for this time. Immediately, Boston decides to ban out Draven, and Carleton bans out Blitzcrank. I didn't know Neverstory played Draven.
I guess he does, as it looks like we are into draft, as everybody's all locked and loaded here. Draven Anivia going to be taken away by Boston College as well.
We played a game of it last series. It didn't go as well as one would hope, but it did win them the game. So I guess they were afraid of that. Banning got a Maokai, another meta pick, or I guess the first very meta pick in this entire ban phase. It's a strong jungler, able to control space very well with them saplings.
Yeah, able to just hold that space, try to make things happen. Really, Cassidy and Tristana being a strong mid laner as of late, being picked up here. And Cassidy has just been a menace of the mid lane, as Cassante will go over as the first picked, an absolute monster of a champion as of recently.
He's been getting nerfed recently, and if he's getting a... Actually, no, that patch isn't out yet.
No, we are
but
still...
he has been nerfed a lot.
But here is what I've heard from our top laner is that is his go-to counter. He's going to bring out the Gwen. He's been practicing it up.
Frees up some AD space in the mid lane in case they want to play anything, but they did already ban out P-Top's Tristana, which seems to be his go-to AD mid.
Yeah, definitely going to limit the options. We'll go for the Ashe. This has been a bit of a flexible pick, as it's been able to be flexed between the support and the ADC position. So we'll see how Carleton decides to utilize that pick.
Boston support immediately thinking about heading towards the Nautilus. Another aggressive champion that can hook into an Ashe in case they don't decide to go for something like Heimer.
Yeah, definitely an aggressive pick for their bot lane there. We'll see how they wish to pair, who they wish to pair it with, and how they wish to utilize it as we get ready to the last blue pick of the phase. Time ticking on down.
They could answer with more aggression. Oh, the Xayah Nautilus.
Xayah Nautilus. So Xayah has been a strong meta pick of late. Has been just a strong champion. So definitely will be interesting to see how they go about countering the Xayah. Very survivable. But Carleton will go to the Varus, moving Ashe to support. And that's going to be your bottom lanes and top lanes locked in for both sides.
It is kind of surprising with the Varus, because if you go for a Varus and an Ashe, there's no mobility to really escape the Nautilus engage. There's no disengage for them in case they get hooked. So it's going to be a dangerous game for them trying to dodge every hook throughout the lane phase.
Yeah, the plan, I guess, is just, the Nautilus can't engage if he's at 10 HP permanently all game from all the poke from Varus and Ashe. So we'll see if they can dodge the skill shots they need to make that happen.
So Carleton going back to banning the Silas, and Boston responds with the Akali, which... Oh, and they banned the Zac too, removing another engaged target. But if Boston does pick that, they'd have 3 tanks, which is a hard front line to break through, but they do have the Gwen. Now what is their answer to this? The Talia.
The Talia ban, Mr. P Tulp is a Talia one trick, so definitely to be expected that is. Oh yeah, he is a big Talia enjoyer. One of his smurfs is buff Talia mid.
I have never seen him play Talia once.
Because he's never allowed to. Because the
I see.
champion is not good.
And yet they ban it anyway. I guess he's just that good on it.
He somehow makes the champion good, so...
I've been seeing it pop up in Pro every now and then in LPL.
Yeah,
it can be used.
It appears occasionally, as Wukong and Echo are going to be the pickups. Most likely Wukong jungle for Carleton. Echo could be a mid-jungle flex, but has been living in the jungle as of late.
I would expect Echo jungle. Yeah. An AP champion works well into Wukong.
Yep, and oh, no, it will not be. It will be Elise moving into the jungle. Echo going mid. Carleton to counter the Echo mid pick.
Maybe some disengage. They do have some pseudo front lines, the Wukong and Gwen. They don't go full tank, but they can hold space.
Definitely.
Not sure how well that works if you get CC chained by Nautilus and Elise, though.
They go for the Jace. Go for it. It's going to be Jace AD mid lane is the pickup. And definitely we're seeing some different drafts than we did last week. Carleton adapting their strategy. And we will see how this pans out. As it's going to be the Gwen top lane countered into Cassante, the Jace versus the Echo, and Poke versus Engage in the bot lane. Very exciting times indeed.
It looks like Carleton actually went for much more of a Poke comp overall compared to Boston's. It's not exactly a full Engage comp because they don't have people that can just run it aside from Nautilus and Cassante. They push very hard in the early game though.
They definitely have a lot of dive options too, like Echo and Elise like the dive. Xayah with her ults is also able to dive pretty well. Nautilus able to start those off alongside Cassante as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they can play these sort of dive angles that they're able to get themselves into, and how they can make those happen throughout the course of the game. Interesting to see. But it's, Carleton's all set up for something to happen. We'll see how they do as they get onto the Rift. We just have to wait out our spectator delay. So while we are doing that, we are going to step away for a minute, get everything ready to go for you guys as we get ready for game number 1. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just over 2 minutes for some League of Legends action. See you then. For the side of Boston, Carleton,
Look like they want. Oh,
ooh, all 5 there. Ward's down. So Carleton spots out the ruse. And will trade some vision of their own, actually, quite nicely.
I didn't get to deny the other ward into the bush. That ward adds a lot of space to either side, allowing them to hide in that bush for hooks and poke. I'm not sure who would whether it was want to be aggressive or defensive with that one. I guess it's kind of both.
Yeah. It's designed to, try to track Elise's start. They're looking to see where that Elise is going to start or clear. And they should actually be able to see her here as she will step onto the ward before the sweeper. Ooh, yeah, will step onto the ward before the sweeper, so is spotted. So both junglers starting on the top side will be passing towards bottom, so we'll see which jungler will have their impact there first. Sweeper out for the Nautilus, handing some early CS over. Now we get into our lanes and we start to see what happens.
I wonder if Carleton. Actually, no, they don't seem to need to replace that word just yet.
Ooh.
Oh, immediately, level 1, the Nautilus landing a hook onto Neverstory, trading back damage, but
Yeah, and
the Varus going even.
And that's going to be the problem with this bot lane is that, if you can't dodge those hooks, it's going to be a hard position to play from. So having to play with your minions, continue to land your poke. But, health bars overall looking pretty okay for the Carleton side.
Neverstory is ready for a scrap. He got 3 health pots ready to go in case he survives any of these hooks. It's going to be a hard first back for Boston.
Top lane getting entertaining as hook comes through bottom. As the exhaust will come down to try and save Neverstory's life. Going to be forced to flash away. So it'll be an exhaust and an ignite traded. Flash blown by the ADC. Top lane though. Looking to be...
doesn't go for the kill.
No, looking to keep it going slowly here as first strike of gold being acquired. Ooh.
Oh, Santi's going for it. Doesn't go for the immediate WQ. I think that's supposed to guarantee you hit a Q.
Yeah, this is a very close top lane here.
Let's see if the Gwen healing can outmatch the one combo stun from the Cassante.
He's looking for it. We'll dash forward as bot lane looks to be our area of next target. Oh, the hook is just going to land. Oh, that target has flash. Ooh, it will be Dark Harvest stun out.
Oh, he flashes in. He goes for it.
Ooh.
Zoro flashing in as well, picking up the kill, but it's traded back by Gusto, who takes out the Zaya.
Yeah. A 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, though. First blood credit will go over to the side of Boston, as they will take that away.
They're looking to catch out the Nautilus, but the Elise might have pushed up a bit too far here.
Ooh.
Unless they can take out Gates.
Nope. It will be
It's another 1-for-1 trade.
And I think that one overall benefits Carleton. It's going to be a red buff to Neverstory. He gets to farm most of his wave. So maybe a bit of a blunder there, unless Boston can make something from it. But 2-for-2 kills. Carleton up a small amount of gold for a brief second there. But overall, a very close game. And we'll see what happens as we... if these little games will matter, as it's an extra kill in the back pocket of Varus over the assist over the Zaya. We'll see if that extra gold comes into mattering.
Undefined, taking a fair amount of minion damage, trying to keep this wave from crashing. Might be afraid of the Elise gank, but Elise has already spotted bot.
Yeah. And some nice sidestep action there from Patal, making his way out of that cocoon ability. Undefined continuing to snip, snip, snip away at Cassante.
Looking to trade back. Undefined wanting to all in.
He's
He's going for it.
oh,
Can he even find this kill?
ooh. Now, snip is a bit of an ability, especially with the true damage. It is definitely a strong ability, as P-Top will walk his way out of there. But it is now with the level 6 advantage. This is where Undefined needs to find his kill. But it looks like Echo is going to try and cover the potential kill here, walking up top.
Actually, I don't think Undefined knows. I think he's dead. Sante ults him right towards his friend.
Yeah.
Gwen is not immune to that.
Yeah. Gwen may be immune to many things, but is not immune to death. And it looks like they're going to get the playoff on the other side, too. Gates in a bit of a trouble, as will be just a CC combo from all places. And a quick lead gained here by Boston. Tulp getting a nice little trade out. Gusto needs to be careful here, as he's on
Looks
the
like they
retreat.
don't chase.
Nope, looks like he'll get himself out of there, but the ward, I believe, was protected, so...
That'll be another play in waiting for the Elise, looking to push the lead they've just made.
But, you know, in the mid lane, though, small gold lead farming, or, you know, small CS lead forming for the Jace, up about 10 CS. So is having some success in that regard, but overall, Elise is getting ahead. Cassante with that assist off of the nice ultimate all out. And, you know, Carleton needing to find ways to stem the bleeding. They are, you know, only down about 600 gold, but need to, you know, continue to keep this game close, continue to not let it spiral out of control, as it looks like it will be a plate claimed here. But
the position Undefined died at, I don't think he lost a whole lot. He basically died with TP to go get his wave back. I'm not even sure if he had to, because he crashed the wave just moments before.
Ooh, there's going to be an electrocute proc down onto Tulp. Going to lose a third of his HP, trading it back to a quarter of Echoes. As he will... Ooh, he's in a rough position here. As the hook...
Nautilus goes for the hook. It lands through the wall. The Echo chases him down. Does he go for the dive?
Ooh.
Fails to get the kill, but can ult out to safety.
And that, honestly, I think the Echo played it a little too aggressively. It has to trade both Flash and Ultimate to get not a whole lot. Does force the Jace off the wave, at least, with the Elise coming in. But not overall a huge play. Top lane fight breaking out here, though.
Undefined still holding the R. Feels like, I don't think he thinks he's in threat of dying here.
Now, Carleton using this opportunity here with some tempo on the bottom side of the map will take away the Mountain Dragon, trying to give some extra resistances to all of their lanes, give them that extra survivability, as that will go over. Giving, you know, all of these champions that really want to help survive a little bit of extra survivability, and it's really good to take this away as the poke comp. You know, you're the comp that really wants to chip away at your opponent's health bars. Ooh, Echo on his way in. And
the same play as before, falls for it again. Gwen is still not immune to that.
Yeah, that's just...
Sante ult and the Echo combo.
Yeah, it's just getting rough in that top lane, as will be Herald as well. This is going to be a massive collection of gold dumped into the pockets of Boston College here. As they pick up probably 4... Yeah, with the extra resistances, it'll only be 4 plates total on that turret. But it is definitely getting rough in that top lane for Undefined, as he's, you know, down about 1,000 gold in that lane.
He's trying to trade something back on the mid wave. Oh, he's going to... He might sack himself for just the plate money.
It doesn't even get the plate. The plate lives at 1 HP, but it's a big
They kill him. Oh, they don't kill him. Echo ults back into safety.
Yeah.
Can Gusto get the Echo kill? He does. But I think he falls to the Xayah.
Just needed his abilities to possibly come off cooldown there. But will be a 1-4-2. Carleton putting a little more gold into the economy. Gates gonna get knocked up and rooted up by Nautilus. And with the...
Nautilus saving the hook. The glacial what was it? Glacial Frost slowing down
Yeah.
Gates. They catch him in the end at the cost of both flashes.
Yeah, but do trade Flash Heal for double Flash, but there's a Hex Tech, so overall, definitely Boston College feeling probably pretty good about that. Do gain control over the bottom side of the map as well. And there was no ultimate available there as, Jack Show completed here for Cassante, meaning he will have, that mythic advantage. And early on here, Carleton, though, trying to fight back as... that Varus champ does funny things, man.
Certainly poke a lot.
Oh, Killing God, though, might be in a bit of trouble.
It doesn't matter. Do they go for the kill? And they get him.
Yeah, that's big there. A big gold collection as Undefined's trying to make something happen. Alt's traded. The flash out, and that counter pick is not having the intended effect as Gusto in a bit of trouble here. Going to have to find a way over that wall. But going to die to the burn. Rough state of affairs for Carleton here.
I think they should try and start grouping up at some point. With the big line of poke, maybe they can get someone off and get a better fight that way. But as it stands, they keep getting picked off by this Elise Nautilus and the Echo running around trying to assassinate people.
Yeah, and just a too big of a gold advantage in that top lane versus in that Cassante versus Gwen matchup at this point to really make anything really happen there. So definitely a bit of a mis-execution on that play. But definitely, not over yet. Time to farm up.
Undefined, still trying to take this fight despite having lost it last time.
Now, in the short chunking trades, he seems to be doing okay, right? He dodges in. Gets
but
a snip off.
More if he gets hit by this Q. And he dodges it.
Yeah. But with these little, snip trades, auto some minions 2 to 3 times, E in, get snip off, and then go in. Those are winning trades, and probably will continue to be. But that turret not long for this world.
Yeah, the Elise covering that top side. P-Top gets engaged on by the Echo. The Echo still has R, but he doesn't seem to be able to win the straight-up fight.
Yeah, and definitely not being able to land the stun there as Echo definitely dissuaded him from really wanting to go in there. But Gusto on the way over, Talp coming his way in.
Doesn't seem to notice the ward in that bush, but he'll figure it out soon and move to greener pastures over to bot lane.
Yeah, bot lane continuing to be a somewhat bright spot on the map. He has some support deaths, but overall Never Story continuing to farm up well ahead of his lane opponent, up 20 CS in the bottom lane, as it looks like, the Handles of Corruption going to be just wide.
Even with the abilities missing, they do get their bot prile, but Boston still wants to fight for this Drake.
Yep.
Does Carleton stand their ground and try to throw things at him until they see if they can get pushed off?
So they've moved Gwen to mid lane. It looks like they don't want the overall fight. They're better back off. And they're going to hand over the Cloud Dragon, not the most important dragon there is, as it will be a Hex, or not a Hextech, a Chemtech Soul spawning out onto the Rift as the plants all get buffed. But definitely, smart to, give over that dragon. Most members of Boston College are already on mythic items. You got a Jack Show on Cassante. Elise had Richmaker. You had items in Zaya's inventory, but Carleton didn't really have these items ready to go. So better to, back off, take your time, really scale up to that, first item, try to get to that, 1.5, 1 item break point before your opponents get to 2, and then make something happen there as Gusto coming top to assist Undefined in this fight potentially.
Oh, P-Top is also here. It looks like they're raring for a dive. Cassante ults him over, but they find the Elise as well. They jump over, kill the Gwen, and get themselves out of the situation. They jump in looking for more. But Casante's kind of low. They engage on him first.
This is a potential... Now
gets the shutdown.
Oh, this is not going to be good, though. It's going to be a stun as Talp able to burn his flash in time. But will it matter? As ult comes down, Never Story Getting
He
stunned
at
up.
least repels in. He
Oh,
gets exhausted and pushed away. He can't find the kill. And P-Top takes another shutdown. 2 shutdowns going the way of Carleton. Onto some
Ooh.
nice snowballing champions, too. Let's see what they can do with this extra
Big
influx
hit
of
if they can
gold.
kill him. They kind of?
Oh, the snipe! P-Top gets another.
Okay. Gold situation not looking as bad. Big kills onto big champions. Undefined to be able to salvage this turret by the looks of it. Saving them from letting more gold slip into Boston's pockets. As Never Story, bit of a rough position, has to flash, but does keep his life, so upsides. However,
Undefined pushing Desire off that wave. She steps a bit too far up. I'm pretty sure P will just engage on her.
yeah. Now it is, a mythic advantage to Xayah, so has the ability to have that extra dash, has those extra stats from having the mythic item completed, while Riftmaker components are still living in Undefined's inventory. So we'll have to see how they really want to clean those up, turning them into full-on items. But for now, game state sort of stabilized with a 2,000 gold lead for the side of Boston. But 2,000 gold now, it's not as bad as it was earlier on, as mythic items are starting to come in for the side of Carleton. Riftmaker just finished for the Gwen. You have Divine Sunder finish for Wukong. Jace finishes Eclipse, and even Varus has finished his first item as, ooh, this is going to be a battle.
Oh, the Echo lands the ult. It's a big chunk of his damage onto the Jace, but he's caught instead by the Wukong. Trade flashes, and the Sunder takes him down.
Yeah, and this is Carleton making plays on the other side of the map. Yes, they lose out on the Rift Herald. Rift Herald's going to be dropped mid, probably going to bring that turret down, but it is going to probably lead to Carleton gaining little bits of gold where they can, putting gold into players, as Gus is on the retreat, but doesn't look like he's got far to go. But the fog of war is a scary thing.
Undefined now has the Riftmaker. Let's see if he decides to make this fight now. He still loses it.
Yeah, it's not looking super advantageous. But
The Cassandra hasn't even ulted yet.
Now, that honestly wasn't terrible. For the gold difference in that lane, if we take a look at that, it is 2,000 gold, right? But Gwen was able to keep their distance, kind of poke away, and kind of Cassandra went back to base. Gwen gets to have her time alone with that wave if the Shido desires. Doesn't actually, because we're going to have a Chemtech Dragon spawning in about 10 seconds. So, priorities for these teams. Do head on over there. As Carleton looking, though, not to actually contest for the Dragon, but instead going to use this time to try and put some more gold back in their pockets. So we'll take away the jungle from Boston College. We'll make the decision instead. They're going to take turrets. They're going to take away these cross-map objectives and try to bring their economy back in line. And again, they're closing the gap. They're now only about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, but they are trading. The Echo is taking that that bot tier 2. It's going to be a lot of gold. That's worth the extra 300 as well, so they might actually lose gold for this play.
Yeah,
At least Solo the Drake ended up getting that for them anyway.
Yeah, but they do take away Elise's entire, blue side quadrant, and are able to have already rotated through most of their own. So we'll potentially lose one camp, as Gate's going to get engaged upon. But,
I don't think they got the people to handle this. Does Gusto go for the engage? He does not.
Ooh, the root down,
Oh,
and
they catch the Echo, but he gets the ult in just in time. Nautilus going a bit too far in, gets taken out as well.
Gusto going deep, but will it be enough? When making damage happen,
He at least repelled away, but he gets chopped down by the Gwen. Carleton bringing it back, finding a nice catch in their own jungle.
the gold lead is gone. And Baron is the target. It's 3 dead. This could just be a massive swing point of the game. If this goes over to Carleton, even mildly cleanly, this could be a massive swing into like gold and win percentage here, as Carleton continuing to work through both the Baron and Casante's health bar.
What did he?
It's DC.
You okay? Oh, it's a bait.
It's the bait of the century, but it looks like they're still going to take down the Killshot, and yeah, we're going to have a pause there. It looks like, sadly, Casante DC'd right in the middle of that mess, because that is unfortunate. Because, you know, the pressure from the side of Boston College was looking really good around that Baron. Carleton, even if Casante reconnects, or is connected during that fight, probably still an advantageous fight for Carleton. They have more members, you know, members of Boston College are sort of trickling into the fight. Definitely, you know, Undefined probably drops a little faster. They have to probably invest Gus off the Baron, whereas in this scenario, he's still actively hitting Baron. So it'll be interesting to see how, you know, the fact that Casante couldn't take the fight there will overall matter. You know, Echo dying there pretty quickly, as that will be Baron secured after the pause. And
we don't got no chrono breaks or anything. You just live with that.
Yeah, you sadly, this is not, you know, a professional league. We don't have the ability to chrono break, so Carleton gets to just take their pickings. This is the best part about pauses, is that we have this lovely little thing.
We have to wait.
Nope, it just rebuffers itself. Because
I see.
It's trying to stay 3 minutes behind the action, so it has to figure out where it is in reference to live and sort itself out. But it has. We're all good.
All right.
We're back to
It
business.
wasn't too long.
Nope, brief little pause, just enough time to get the get Casante reconnected, and now it's back on to the Rift. Carleton now commands a 2,000 gold lead with a massive gold swing with that pick fight into the Baron, creating 4,000 gold swing over the last couple of minutes. And now with that, it's going to be up to them to see if they can continue to hold on to it, as Casante coming bottom. It looks like we might get another skirmish in the jungle here.
Nautilus can't really hook. He goes for it, doesn't quite catch him.
Yeah.
He does have. Gusto still has the clone and the flash, so I'm not sure if he dies there, but would have gotten them to stop this push.
Does force Echo back to base, so we'll be continuing to sort of make something happen there, as, you know, these armor pen items, not yet in Jace's inventory, has gone a more defensive, bit of an interesting walking position there from Jace, but the siege continues on 2 waves here. Undefined working on this mid wave as the rest of the team works on this bottom, and they're slowly cutting through this turret. As the root comes through, so does the stun.
And Casante can't block that with this W.
Yeah, you can't. You don't get to go immune, and oh my goodness, the poke comp is living up to its name.
I mean, poke comps are oppressive in sieges. It's difficult to defend the turret when they can just throw things from the safety outside of it. So the turret doesn't really offer you any safety in those cases.
Yeah. Especially now that these champions have fully come online with all this gold. You know, one empowered shockwave from the Jace is just melting a third off of anything that's not, Casante or Nautilus's health bar. As Carleton will use this opportunity to take a reset 50 seconds before the next dragon, using that warp gate to get going a little faster. We'll run on down. And I think this is going to be a very, very important play. Carleton now with a 4,000 gold lead.
The reset does allow Boston to take first position in the river.
Yes.
Let's see if they opt to take it and try to dodge out the poke, or do they want to walk in and try and engage into them? So, walking into the poke comp can be rough, though. It's a hard decision either way.
Ooh, the chains are just going to miss. But now the setup's complete. Wave neutralized by Carleton in the mid lane. That was a good attempt by Boston to try and get that wave moving. As Carleton moves in, will secure the guaranteed vision. And now with that and the mid wave pushing, we have our final stances by the looks of it here for this dragon.
Austin trying to rush down the Drake. Don't want to sit here against the Pope comp for too long. But doing so, they can't actually take out the fight like this, can they?
Well, they knocked him in.
Catch Gusto. That wasn't his clone. Jason thought that one was.
Undefined's in there, the arrow's in. And now it's the chair down.
The AoE is too much. The Gwen actually put in a lot of work that fight.
Yeah.
Sniping down the ADC before the fight even got going.
And with that, the ace comes through. Carleton trading but one life for that. As now it is a Carleton march to the finish. They sending their mid laner down to continue to work on these turrets. Will take away this dragon, tying the dragons at 2-2. And now it becomes Carleton's job to finish this up cleanly. They have the gold lead. They've reclaimed it from their weaker early game positions. Their team fighting has looked really solid. Now it comes down to what does it take to close this one out? They need to continue to play these team fights really well. They are on a more mechanically difficult comp to play out. So it is up to them to sort of play these matches out really well, play these team fights out as they've been playing them, and then we'll see. But we're now getting some dancing around the Baron started. Red buff taken by support, I guess.
He's still an ADC, but he hasn't really. He has the Umbral Glaive. He does AD damage. He auto things.
Yeah, I guess.
To be fair, it's not like the Varus is actually autoing anything. He's got too many Qs for that.
Yep. As vision being cleared out by Carleton's side, actively pushing these vision lines back, trying to create more and more darkness on the map for Boston College.
Now, Carleton has set up onto the Baron. Jason trying to find a pick if he can. Oh, they get onto who is that? Never Story picking off the ADC, one of the core members of Poke, before the fight even gets going. Let's see if Undefined can take out the Echo on the split.
He does a lot of damage.
Lands, but I think he's going to walk out. But his push ends there.
Yeah, we'll end the push as now things are getting interesting. As in comes the monkey spinning around as
clone to safety. They take out two.
Yeah.
None of Carleton have fallen yet.
And with that TP committed, another kill comes through. And
that's
that means
another Baron for Carleton.
Another Baron. Yes, they're going to lose Varus in that exchange, but basically everything that wasn't Echo alone on that split push falls to Carleton as they're continuing to now grow the gold lead. And now no ultimate available. And another kill for Carleton, completing the ace.
Boston looking a bit too over-aggressive, trying to leverage power they no longer really have to try to 1v1 people.
Yeah, and Carleton has broken the 10,000 gold threshold now. They have their second Baron. Will, get them... Will last just, I think, to the beginning. Oh no, it'll last a little bit into the dragon. So they should be able to set up nicely if they want to go for dragon. They can set up nicely these waves for pushing. It's Carleton, is trying to set up their vision line here. Moving their vision down to the bottom side.
I mean, with the Poke comp, it's so incredibly hard for Boston to walk in, considering the gold lead and just the comps. Yeah. I wonder if they decide to forego this Drake entirely. It's not Soul, and try to split both ends so they can't just send 5 onto one side and then win something else.
Yeah, it's definitely for the first minute and a half here, though, it's going to be Carleton trying to gain vision control on this bottom side, try to poke away any potential chance of engages even happening. Like trying to find their way to prevent Boston even getting into the jungle, even getting near the dragon, as you know, vision being continually cleared out. As that hit for sure. And yeah.
Well, trying to get the vision line of their own, they get punished with a lot of poke. So unable to push their own line forward. I doubt they'll even make it to the Drake by the time
Yeah.
Carleton's done with it. Oh, that EQ doing a whole lot of damage to the Xayah.
Yeah, and that is, you know, the goal of what Carleton's trying to do here. They're trying to get these waves into such a position where contesting isn't even an option for the side of Boston. They're just consistently, you know, poking them out, trying to make something happen, but they're going to try and make a 2v1 play on the top-hand side. But Undefined is not the same Gwen he used to be.
Oh, they just left the base open. Oh, Carleton is just ending right now.
And there's the arrow to slow them down. They're just deploying extra CC, and yeah, you get your kill, but we'll take your Nexus. Carleton goes up 1-0 in the series. Yeah, just a bit of a I don't know if we want to call it a fumble, but you know, they overcommit to the play on the top side. You know, one or two people weren't getting the job done. They moved 3, 4. They moved the entire team up to top side. And Carleton's like, we have Baron, we have minions. We're going to take your Nexus. And they just melt through the mid lane into the Nexus and just totally, you know, bit of over aggressive play once again from Boston College.
I feel like they didn't quite. They tried pushing their lead. They got the lead early, and they tried pushing it, but they pushed a little too far with that Nautilus play top, and that just evaporated their gold lead. And from them, they tried to playing the same way, and it just never ended well for them.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a mistake trying to. They made, especially that one bad play in the topside jungle of Carleton, really seemed to be the turning point of this game, where they, you know, go a little too aggressively. Carleton gets a good disengage, followed by a Gusto flash clone knockup, and they just get, you know, 3 people caught in the blender. Varus is there, able to do damage, and is really able to bring that game back for Carleton. And from there on out, it was just Carleton for the rest of the game. And I don't know, like Boston College, you know, played a really good early game. And I think that is something they need to really embrace, maybe even lean into a bit more, trying to play more early game snowbally comps, you know, trying to play champions that really want to fight early and try to win through that power. And then for Carleton, I mean, it seems to be working. You know, early game could use a little polishing, but the mid to late game
Moving too fast, life moving in slow mo. I'm a god, but I actually don't know. Homie, better put your pride aside. I'm a Benz, get more like a Volvo. Your best stuff looks like my words. Synapses, fire and burst. Got the whole crew with me, about to do damage.
Welcome back, everybody, as we are getting ready for game number 2 here. Everybody's loading back in, just getting all the players back in their seats, ready to go, as it's getting all set up here. And looking like we are almost ready to rumble, as there we go. We are into draft.
Starting out the ban phase. Let's see what they begin with. Going back to the Draven ban for Boston. Still afraid of that. Let's see, did they respond? Same ban as before, Blitzcrank. Same response. Let's see where anything deviates. What did they go for? What was the second thing they banned? Anivia? Yeah, looking the same to me.
Let's say this is starting to smell like a salty run back.
I don't know if you want to run back after what happened last time, but
Okay, so draft adaptation from Carleton will take away Cassante, as that was definitely one of the stronger parts of the comp from Boston College, was making that Cassante work top lane. So interesting to see what they do. B1 pick taken away. They will go to the Maokai, which was taken away as the red side 2 ban in game number 1. And now
Maokai may give Boston the space they need to work with on the objectives. Let's see what the response is. They didn't have to respond to this last time, so I wonder what they go with now.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued to see. Oh, they're going to go for Vive. This has been a pretty common trade in higher, pro level League of Legends. Has been trading stuff like Maokai for stuff like Vi. Vi being, this really aggressive, engaging champion that a lot of teams are being able to use to really drive aggressive early game oriented comps. So we'll see how that works out for Carleton.
Taking away the Xayah, they want it this time.
And I like it though.
Not sure.
I like the Xayah here for one of the main reasons being that it gives them a way of getting out of types of engages. Can't Jin root something that's invulnerable. Maokai, just get Xayah ulted. All these sort of options here. So it'll be interesting to see what they want to pair Xayah with, if they go the Enchanter route or the Engage support route. Looks like they're going to go back to the Engage support well for Boston College.
I mean, looking at his match history, he really likes his Nautilus. But it might be a bit rough when you can't hook the Xayah. Well,
Yeah.
He takes it anyway.
Yeah, and I think I like this as an additional draft adaptation, knowing that it's going to be, a Nautilus. You take it with the Blitzcrank, probably going to be the Nautilus being played. And, you're like, okay, cool. We'll pick up the Xayah. Basically, our ADC has a one button. We don't get hooked by on ADC. But, now it's back to what they want to play. And they're going to go even safer. They're going to pick up the Thresh as the counter engage to Nautilus, trying to keep the Xayah safely protected.
Leaves the Vi a little bit out to dry with the lack of anything to follow up the engage, but Xayah can throw out those feathers, do the roots.
Yep.
Carleton banning out the Sylas. They respond with banning out Akali. I thought Akali countered Sylas.
Calling counters a few things that people like to play right now. So definitely a consistent ban. It's been hanging out in the meta.
2 carry mid laners off the table, but still leaves the control mages and the Rise. Let's see if they go back with the Talia ban, or are we going to see that at a P-top?
Yeah.
Taking away the Syndra from Boston,
And it's
and they go
gone.
to Talia.
Gonna be a molding.
One day, we'll see it.
Oh, we get it usually one game a year, because some team forgets that Philip is a Talia one trick, and then he literally smurfs it, and then we never get the champion for the rest of the season.
I mean, playing with 4 bans must be nice, though.
Yeah, but it will be Irelia the Hover. No, going for
The Cassiopeia.
Ethiopia. Okay.
It's strong into the melee team, the mostly melee team so far of Nautilus Maokai. Wonder if
Yeah.
they force Boston to take a more conservative route and take more range champions. They go with a Malzahar. You don't see this very often.
Malzahar hover. Okay. This is I mean, it's an answer to the Vi, but yeah, they're gonna go for it. It kind of answers Vi, but I mean,
And that's Cass. Cass is close range, close enough to just press R on. Also follows with the hard engage that Boston seems to like doing. But where is their damage coming in next to it? Let's see what they get.
yeah, but definitely one of these comps gonna. Oh, they're gonna go for the Darius. Okay, very interesting. I feel if Boston College gets behind early, this is going to just be a steamroll. Darius behind early, Malzahar behind early. Where's the damage going to come from in the late game? It is.
I mean, if there was ever a time for Undefined to skill check him, I think this would be it.
I mean, he's going to drop the Gnar on him as the draft is completed. Here will be Gnar answering the Darius, Vi into Maokai, and Cassiopeia Malzahar in the mid lane. Jhin Nautilus taking on Xayah and Thresh, and definitely some interesting draft all the way around as the team gets ready to head out onto the Rift. What are you thinking for the comps for this game?
I think the Vi's probably going to be pathing away from bot. Maokai can honestly go anywhere he wants because he gets roughly the same amount of damage, but I think he might want to defend that Darius. If that Darius goes behind early, I really don't know what Boston can really do about it afterwards.
Yeah.
As you said before, they just don't have the damage. But at the very least, the Malzahar, the Darius, these things being short range shouldn't matter too much for them. Because it's not like Carleton has picked an incredible amount of poke like last game.
Yeah, it's definitely not the poke palooza that Carleton had in game number 1. But it is definitely going to be an interesting game here set up from Carleton. They seem to have gone a bit more team fight, protect the ADC with their style of comp this time around. Xayah, amazing self peel, have the Thresh, peel the Nautilus off of them, have the Lantern to get people out. But Cassiopeia, again, that big pool area shutting down stuff that really wants to try and get on top of anything like the Xayah. And then you have Gnar and Vi sort of acting like these big burly champions trying to do either coming in or just throwing people away so Xayah can keep her range. So I really want to see how Carleton really wants to play out these like mid-game team fights, one and a half, one item team fights to like keep the Xayah in sort of a protected area where she can hit onto champions like Maokai and Darius without getting engaged on by Nautilus.
One thing I have forgotten is Cassiopeia now goes the Seraphs and Rod of Ages build now, right?
Yeah, I would say
That
in most
is
cases.
a lot of extra HP, especially with like the Rod of Ages pooling into the Seraph shield. That's like 2,000 HP worth of effective HP, and she gets her healing off of her E. If Boston is maybe even, Cassiopeia might just be able to out-heal their entire team and just run right through it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and we're just going to step away while they load onto the Rift, and then we can see while this game goes, but don't go anywhere. Game 2 of Carleton versus Boston College will be on in just a minute.
Everybody got a line, sit back with the stars in line. I finesse like my life on the 9 was a diamond in the rough, and now I shine.
No one could stop us, they'll try, but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no, we're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants. Yeah, shutting it down. Been in the ground and my people all up in this place. Spinning this thing, go to my rank. Royalty up in my veins. I'm loco, think I'm so cold. I say something, ain't no going back. Now they ask where Kiki's at. I'm like, like you can't hang with that. 쏟아져 빛이 멀게 된 눈이 멈추지 않아. Once we go 내게로운 멜로 모든 배워 빨리 달려. 넌 못 따라와. True damage we do it. True damage 보여줄게 뭐든 쉽게. 이기든 지든 my crew make the beat. No one could stop us. They'll try but they won't. Nada nos puede parar. Oh no. We're wide awake now. Our eyes are wide open. We're running this world. We're keeping it turning. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. It's not the way we're weak, but we coming right back. This time they're gonna see how we do it like that. We're living like giants. Yeah, giants. We're bigger than giants. We're giants. Oh, sleeping giants. Sleeping giants.
I keep on shattering time. I might just leave you behind. Homie, you stuck on rewind. You should quit sleeping on mine. You got your back on reclined. When I damage your delicate spine, please don't act out, shy and surprise.
And we are ready to go for game number 2. Carleton back on the red, Boston on the blue. Carleton up 1-0 in the series. And now we'll see how they want to start it off. It's looking like Boston going for the same play once again. They're going to send all 5 bodies bottom, and we'll see if there's a different gameplay here.
Gates holding it. Oh, they're going for the cheese. Are they looking for Never Story?
I think this is. Oh no, they're. Oh.
Oh, they know. Oh, they know. They find him. They catch Gates chilling in a bush, and the kill goes to Malzahar.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of not having a game open, having store open or something open instead, and looking away for that. So will be a kill early there with 4 assists split, and Malzahar getting to pick up an extra item there. I think he picked up the bonus ring. And now it'll be interesting to see how mid lane plays out. Given up, there's this extra, batch of gold, basically, 600 gold that was just handed over.
A lot of AP for the Malzahar, buying an extra Doran's ring.
Yeah, no, it's the. I think he picked up the Dark Seal.
The Dark Seal.
Yeah, it's Dark Seal because he would have stacks on it if he had it already.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, he got a kill. He's expecting to win this lane now. I think it's a good purchase.
Yeah. Having that early advantage, we'll see what comes of that as 30th Parallel going to clear out some vision. And this, I think, is our big matchup to watch here, is this top lane matchup. Because if...
Well, it's an important matchup, but the Vi's actually pathing away from him. Whereas the Maokai's pathing towards him.
So Carleton must think that they are going to win. That's a winning matchup for them, and they're willing to just let Undefined do what he can. Whereas on the side of Boston College, they're looking at that going, "We need him to win." It's not we want him to win. We kind of need that lane to win. And if that lane doesn't, isn't a winning lane, Darius isn't getting gold, getting items. It's going to be a bit of a rough situation.
I'd expect the Vi to try to defend that play instead. If they'd if the lane is that important for their winning, I thought they'd just try to, neutralize it, prevent that from ever happening.
Well,
but I guess they assume they lose the 2v2, don't want to risk it. Accidentally ballooning into the lead they've tried to avoid in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's one of those you don't really want to hand the gold over. You feel confident that, Undefined is able to play it safe. He has his wards out. He just needs to play. Because even going 0-0-0 on that lane for Carleton, flay timing not up. As will be pretty aggressive trades there. But going even in that lane at 0-0-0 for Carleton is all they really want. Right? Darius not having gold, not having the accelerated gold of kills. It's really all they really desire out of that lane. So as long as, Undefined is safe, but this is going to be his test. Maokai is hanging out in the try.
Oh, they're going for it. He's going around. Undefined doesn't know. He's not heading towards the river. I think they catch him.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of both teams doing something here as it'll be the ADCs trading back and forth as Carleton
No
wins.
Eon Zaya.
Yeah.
There's no mana for it. How did Undefined get out of that completely unscathed? He didn't even take damage.
He flashed. He just flashed over the heads of it, but he does trade with Maokai Flash. So
I don't know what happened there. Surely
yeah,
we
I
missed something.
I would have loved. This is the problem with only having that one little camera, is we only get to see the play that Riot decides that we get to see. But Undefined able to sneak his way out of that as the bot lane continuing their push on there as the double jump there from Undefined. We'll keep him working through this windy wave as it gets pushed in on the top side. And in the mid lane, Widgie gets it. The mid laners are doing that thing where they just push the waves back and forth because mid lane.
I mean, okay, so the Gnar doesn't have Flash anymore, whereas the Darius has Ghost and Flash. If he can get this wave to bounce and then just run him down the whole lane, I think that can be the start of something good.
Yeah, I think that is the sort of scenario Darius is really looking to create now with this pressure. But it's going to be Maokai coming down, but it's going to be a Cassiopeia roam, and now they know.
They find him first. I think they have less overall health, so they lose this fight. Oh, they go for the engage. They almost one-shot Gates.
Yeah, Gates barely surviving, but Gus is sort of waiting here for Malzahar. Gets ulted down, but just waiting here, and Undefined gets out of it again. Goes blown. Ooh, Killing God just barely sneaking away as well, and overall, basically nothing happens.
Fine, he's going for the kill. Gnar ult doesn't have the space for the boulder toss. I don't know if he decides to jump on him while he has the Mega Gnar.
Oh, the minion just wide, but the ignite's down. Cleanse used. Oh, just very close engages and skirmishes all around the map. Summoner spells left and right being blown, but Never Story and and the rest of the gang holding out for everyone here. As we're just waiting for that, that one kill that actually goes through. Everything else is just, very close, but not actually getting the kill. Waiting to see when that first kill will actually, beyond that, cheese first blood that we're not going to talk about.
There's been a lot of action so far. It's difficult to see it all.
A lot of action, but not a bloody game. As apparently looking at the top lane skirmish was more important than looking at a dragon. Thanks, Riot. Very cool. As Carleton takes away an Infernal Dragon, is down about 200 gold, but 200 gold is definitely totally fine when you have champions like Cassiopeia and Zaya who are desperately wanting to scale into later parts of this game, as Catalyst is in the inventory for that Rod of Ages build for Cass, has the tier stacking as well, so definitely gold on the way for Carleton, as that extra level on Cassiopeia as we get later into the game as well. And no major items coming through yet, but as waves get pushed back and forth. Now this is where things get interesting, right? The top lane is starting to get extended. Maokai is pathing towards top side, and if Undefined could find himself cut out here and doesn't have that flash for a little bit, this is really the opportunity to make something happen in that top lane.
I mean, it's not as if advantages haven't been built on either side, though. 15 CS lead to the Zaya down bot lane, and a 10 CS lead for the Darius as well, actually.
Yeah.
So even trade on both sides, hence the equal gold.
Yeah, Darius, having that gold lead pay off from the from those ganks, being able to have that extra little bit of aggression, but this could be a really big turning point. If Vi is able to take both major objectives here, which, Vi is hitting the Herald and has taken it, so both objectives go Carleton's way.
They might miss the Maokai. He has the Blast Cone. They see the ward, but Vi is trying to head into his jungle. Both of them see each other and decide not to go for the play.
Yeah, looks like they will. Oh, here comes a flay off, and now can they make it happen? It's Never Story hitting 6. Gets the first one down. Feathers are out. Gonna get hooked. Gonna get flayed. The air feathers come back, and that is a bot lane outplay right there, brought on by Xayah, just taking 6 right before. Very well played by the Carleton bot lane. And now it's time for answering the play, as there's the suppression. Here comes I have nice stun, but the ground
Flashes
not enough.
past the ground. They don't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage, but the burn is just good enough.
Yeah.
And they catch the Cassiopeia mid.
Yeah, it's just one of those. We don't have to do a lot of damage as long as we do it for a long period of time, and they're able to hold down the Cassiopeia long enough to take that back. But kill count has been evened out, and now it is on to see what these teams are going to do. Dragon not up for another 2 minutes, but a Herald in the inventory of Gusto means that Carleton has at least 2 guaranteed plates if they can find somewhere to drop this Herald and want to make a play with it. But Carleton, trying to get these waves moving. Gusto working on his blue buff. So we'll see where he wants to end up here.
I mean, looking at bot lane for Carleton, finally trying to get some power for themselves. Looks like he wants to put it bot lane.
Yeah.
Not here for it this time. I'm going to go finish clearing his Gromp and see what the next play is going to be. Maokai heading up top might want to go for another gank, but the Gnar has regained his flash.
Yeah. I think with the flash back, you're not as incentivized, especially with where he's in the lane. Now, he does not have any wards this time, so would have a little bit less warning. But has put the ward out now, so would have a little bit of warning if there was a Maokai gank, but looks like Maokai going to continue to clear and really wants to try and make an impact potentially in this mid lane, as his ult's up again. Now, they don't have the Malzahar ult to start it this time, but definitely
is here to cover this play this time, and they opt not to go for it.
Now Maokai moving back up towards the top side. Looks like he's going to take away the scuttle, as it'll be a moving into the jungle by Carleton, trying to take over.
Setting up Prio. Oh, the Malzahar flashes in. The Maokai ult does miss. It's a stun onto the Maokai. Can he survive the burn?
He just barely survived. I think he got the lantern handed to him, as now Carleton brings on the damage, and Gusto will take out Cute July and bring them ahead here. Small but growing lead, as that will also bring up a Herald and a Dragon. Carleton taking advantage of every potential small lead, trying to turn it even bigger. If they can take a 2-0 Dragon lead here, that'll also be really big for them, especially if they can roll a important soul.
I mean, it's been a slow game, but I think that's exactly what Carleton was going for. Trying to neutralize. Well, I'm not really sure what exactly Boston's going for with this. It's a good catch, but as long as Carleton never walks into them,
yeah,
what can Boston really do about it?
And Carleton has some sort of tools to try to check out any sort of potential catch. They can move up with with Vi or with Gnar. Both these champions a little slippery. And if Xayah is the target they're really looking for, you better instantly blow them up, because if they get to ult and buy all this time to find their way to a Thresh Lantern, you might blow all of these abilities for nothing.
Not having gone top for a while, it looks like the Gnar has actually found his footing back in the game, taking a plate away from the Darius.
Yeah.
Even mid lane, for all its attention, I guess, and the 2 kills that the Malzahar got, he hasn't seemed to be getting anywhere with it.
Yeah, it's definitely not been either of these lanes doing extremely well. As the hook though does net a small HP gain there, as plates will fall off.
Oh, they're going for the same play again, but this time Gusto is ready.
And he don't makes his way out. Ooh, pulls the trigger on the R a bit too early. Ultimate though still in there for
I was thinking it's maybe pushing a bit too far, but now that Gates is here, maybe they can make this fight happen.
What a shield play by the Nautilus there, absolutely saving Gusto's life with the Lantern Shield, and with 2 kills taken over, this is also going to be most likely first turret going to line at Carleton's pockets.
Carleton, after the 3rd time, finally figuring out what this Maokai is here to do, defend the play and to reverse it into a double kill. Neverstory, using his ult aggressively, has to burn his flash to the Nautilus.
Yeah. Does use, those abilities, but is able to keep himself alive. Doesn't need the babysitting of the Thresh, and was definitely a very nice play to, does cost you your flash, does cost you your ult, but, you get ult out from Nautilus, so not feeling too bad, and I think Darius is somewhere he doesn't want to be.
Maokai looks like he does want to be here. He goes for the chase. He wants that fight.
He's trying to get it. Gnar, however, going to have the flash, and will decide that after the flash is burned, no longer is a Darius Wonderland. As another Rift Herald into Carleton's pockets, and probably looking for that top turret, as they want to, continue to open up this map, break down the line of tier 1s. Carleton now has something that eluded them in the early game last time, a gold lead.
I mean, this game's been played much more controlled than last time.
Yeah.
Not as much action, but they can get to that mid game they're much better at, much faster.
Yeah.
Finally getting Boston's, I guess, strength and just neutralizing it right there.
Yeah, definitely have played a much nicer early game. We'll see if they can continue this as we start to move into the mid game. Item completions coming through. It'll be Black Cleaver start as he's just barely gonna get rooted. With the flash committed, no flash available for undefined, and no Narbar either. That's gonna be a dunk as Jason Hu takes out undefined, but looks like there is going to be not a whole lot of world for that man to go to, and it's gonna be instantly answered back on the other side by Carleton.
Carleton, having gotten the kill, they're also set up for Drake when that happens in a minute.
Yeah.
So while gold does go to the Darius, their biggest threat is the Cassiopeia, and they also got gold, so I'm not sure if this is too good of a trade, but they got something out of it, something they haven't gotten before.
And they get the objective bounty on the turrets, so they are picking up, little bits of gold here and there, trying to bring gold into, the team economy. And try to put on the right person. Darius. Ooh.
They're TPing in onto P-Top. Who is this? Oh, it's the Malzahar. It's the same combo as before. The Jin ult is here. He flashes out of the Jin ult, but I don't think this is good enough. Can he trade one back onto the Maokai?
Oh, how much did that man live with? 60 HP. Okay.
He lived because of Triumph.
Yeah, that is. But with that, it does send Maokai back to the base, which means that Carleton might have a window here to potentially take Dragon. Looks like
it's too slow. Boston moves in 4, and they just get control of it immediately. Carleton doesn't really want to fight this out. They go for a hook to see if they can get a better fight, but without that, they're just unwilling to go.
Yeah, and it looks like they will just, Undefined will just continue to push top as, some objective bounties come into play. But, Carleton does pick up the tier 1 turret, top side, gets to hurt, put some damage onto the tier 2. Nope, never mind. Picked up some aggro a little early, but does, do a little bit of work on that tier 2. So, a little gold coming back the other way, definitely not overall winning gold-wise there for Carleton, but, ooh, I don't know who got that smite, but, actually, Carleton did. Gus got
90
that.
gold.
90 gold.
Plus an ender.
Thank you very much. As now it is a bit of a slower part, as Gates, though, could be a bit of a victim
They
here.
get that nice hook onto Gates. Get caught trying to catch vision for the Baron. Loses his flash, but gets out with his life.
Yeah, does trade alt for alt with the Nautilus, so does lose that. Will lose out on the Scuttle Crab as well, as Baron is, 30 seconds away from spawning. So we'll lose that guaranteed vision on that gold as well. But, items starting to come through as second item completions are on the docket for Carleton's members, Navori, Seraphs, and all that sort of items coming through on the Carleton side. And now it is, and then a game of vision. Carleton was really good at playing this game of vision in game 1. And we'll see how they can manage in game number 2, playing around denying vision, taking vision of their own. But right now, that's that undeniable Scuttle Crab vision. So we'll see what Carleton decides to do here, as Darius is moving up the top lane. And
Are they trying to sneak it? They're trying to push in through the side across the Scuttle Crab. Yeah.
yeah,
They're just going to two-man it.
They're gonna go for the 2-man sneak. So they can. The problem is here they have to stand behind the Baron. You take more damage behind the Baron, and will be an interesting thing to see if they do get this completed. Darius went back. Gates is sort of zoning off here, but Gusto is running out of HP.
I mean, so is the Baron. They might get it in time. Boston is none the wiser, but they do get a catch onto Never's Story. Gets saved by the Lantern.
Okay, Baron has been
I
concluded.
didn't know. Baron goes to Carleton.
That is an absolute heist of a Baron. When you're bossing, you're like, oh, we have the Scuttle Crab. There's no way they can hit it. We have the vision, undeniable vision. And Carleton is like, okay, cool. Hops over the back wall, takes that bad boy away, no problemo. So a nice cheeky Baron sneak there goes Carleton's way. And now time to see what they can do with that. On the other side as well, Boston College used, 2 ultimates to try and make a play happen that was answered by Lantern. So, Carleton having, this window here where there's, no Jhin ult, no Malzahar ult, to try and, potentially make something happen with their Barons. We'll see what they decide to do as they, are moving around this dragon that's going to spawn in about a minute and a half.
Good dodge on that hook from P-Top. Carleton, once again, spring cleaning all these wards. They've been really on top of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Maokai, maybe.
Oh, Maokai on the run.
1 minute out till Drake. Carleton set up a bit early, but it looks like they're waiting for a play. Oh, Thresh Hex flashes over the wall a bit early. Gets saved by the Lantern. Almost engaged going in, but they're all way too far away. It's taking too long, so Gusto just ults right in.
He looks for that.
P-Top living on a prayer. Gets saved by the Thresh shield. There's too much going on.
Okay. Firstly, outlived that. So, yeah. Secondly, Carleton good at engine? They have a Baron. It's 22 minutes they have a Baron, they have a wave, and all 5 members are there.
I mean, Boston just pushed a little too far. They went for one engage and got Thresh Lantern. They tried to Nautilus out another guy, and he flashed away. What do you do at that point? They lost all their engage tools, and they still took the fight. It took so long that Gusto ulted into the Malzahar, which just began the fight on their side, and from that point, the gold lead just kind of beat them down.
My goodness gracious. I am stunned.
I mean, that looked a bit like Tilts from... Actually, no, it's not even
I don't think
quite.
it's
They could have backpedaled immediately after they missed both.
I just... Peter lived for so long. He was just, like, yeah, he got engaged on twice. And it was just like, yeah, no, I'm going to be saved by the support both times. And was just a super well played team fight from Carleton, a super clean team fight from Carleton as they played that one out. So it'll be, sort of interesting to see, what Carleton decides to take from these games. How can they improve? I think, looking at the early game one, definitely something good to review. But the Baron sneak, very well done by Carleton. The very well played team fights all series, definitely credit to all the players on Carleton. And yeah, it's I think these were some really good games for Carleton. Boston College played really well, especially in game one. Just one little play goes the wrong way, and sends Boston College back to the drawing board. But other than that, I think today was an amazing day of League of Legends.
Yeah, I thought they played a lot better than last week. Last week, that game was a game of catches, really, mostly just waiting for the other team to mess up more than any controlled play. This time, I could actually see what they were doing. They're going in as 5, they're collecting the vision, they're doing what their comp does, like disengaging or poking or getting the fight that they want. And no matter the lead Boston had, it just didn't feel like it was winnable because they played out the mid-game fights that much better.
Yeah, especially after game one, it felt anything after that big turnaround fight in game one, any lead that ever was held by the side of Boston College just felt either too small or but they need to do something with this right now to sort of make something happen, because Carleton in those mid to late game fights looked very clean. But with all of that, any last comments today about today's games, or anything about how the game went down?
The game went down. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about it.
Fantastic. Then with that, it is I think that's everything we have for today. And with everything else, thank you to everybody for coming out. I hope we all had a fun time. We'll hopefully see you here, maybe not the same time, but sometime next week when we go out and play against one of the best teams in the collegiate League of Legends space of the US team, Harrisburg. So that is going to be a big game. We shall see what happens. With that, thank you everybody for coming out. We'll see you next time. Have a good afternoon.